Hey, how you doing? So, welcome back to this channel. This is going to be a reading for the Sagittariuses. Oh, I can feel information coming out already. I don't know what's going on. Doesn't look like anything's going to come out yet again. Because a card just jumped out as I just shuffled it. But yeah, it's a reading for the Sagittariuses. Could be a lot going on in someone's mind right now, but we'll get into it. So do remember to check out the information in your birth charts, Sag, so that you can get full clarity of what's going on in your life when I'm doing these readings. Okay, let's get into this anyway. What's going on for Sag? What's going on for Sag? I'm not getting involved in your life, is what someone says. It doesn't say it's you, though, Sag. It could be someone around you that's having problems. Okay, so let's see. Wouldn't want to get involved in Sagittarius's life at all. People are peed off at you right now, Sag, as they see that you have good karma with your mind. Okay, so you've got good karma with your mind. People are peed off with you, but you've got good karma with your mind, and that's the reason why. Okay, it doesn't say anything other than this. Okay. Does say that you'll be moving on from something in the next year or even today when you feel like karma could come and give you good news. Wonderful things can happen for you, Sag, and many thanks to you have blamed no one. Blessings are on its way to you. Trial and error is there. Absolutely nothing can warn you to not get ready for absolutely something that could come and warn you that you've got to try and hold on. But absolutely nothing is going to bring you down. So you will move forward, but you keep ready. So you're going to keep on the edge of your seat being ready about something, you know, even though it's not ready yet to come out, or certain things may not be ready to come out, but you still stay ready and you move forward anyway, and you move. It's like you're wanting to move on from something, not feeling stressed, not feeling burdened. No, you got to stay ready just in case something does come up, but still moving on anyway and moving forward. Okay, so probably holding on to not wanting some karma or some trouble. But at the same time, it does say you've seen things and you warn yourself that you've got to see things for what it is, or you could see that things could work out just fine and it's going to be blessed once you study something and look into it, and making sure that you see that things can work out just fine because you warned yourself things would happen, or make you feel like you had to look into it in another way. It's going to make you feel like you had good news to spend time alone and build bridges in your mind to correct yourself with problems and things that were going to turn things around for you. Maybe even have good news, not really sorting things out, but maybe just knowing you'll have good news because you would have studied this. So you could be studying some type of good news, or studying something, in your circle, in your business, so to speak, or something that you just need to be aware of, and you're staying in the know, because you've studied that particular thing that was in your mind to look deeper into, or look further into, about a situation, a person, a place, or a thing. Okay, however that resonates with you. So let's see what else is going on. I feel like someone wants to knock your door as well. Someone wants to meddle in your business, and it doesn't say that it's going to warm up to you in a good way, but it's not coming. And it does say when you realize someone keeps looking back at the past, she knows she could plaster her head into yours at any time you feel like you have good news to walk away from something that you see you don't need to do. And it doesn't say that it's going to happen, but you can warn yourself not to speak and it could happen. So very much so, you need to book time in your mind to see about something or look into a situation. And it's not very nice to say that you're not going to do it, but you warn yourself you could do things in your time and in your mind and in your way of looking at things when you need to. Not because someone has warned themselves to trouble you, troll you, or communicate that they're going to plaster their head in yours, in the mindset of yours, or around the time that they feel like they have to communicate bad news to you. And it's warning you now to see that you are giving yourself great news to move past something by turning your head away from a problem and then seeing if it's going to attack you, because it does want to, as the people involved may attack you. But it does say someone doesn't need to come into their mind about it until next year, maybe June time next year, or maybe never again, because someone has tried to curse you with their mindset about when it should be and how it should be. And warning, it's not going to be you that has to look into it. It's a negative omen and it keeps repeating itself. As time will go by, you'll see the problem or who is behind the scenes trying to target you with this. Okay. It does say you've got brilliant ideas to turn things around and see that you stress less about a situation and try to call out for help if you need to. It does say that you know what to do, and it doesn't say that you do have bad news, but you're warning yourself not to speak about the situation with a bad man who has problems and gives himself problems. I'm hearing something for you guys a little bit behind the scenes about a record deal. Like someone could want to give you a record deal, or something about a recording studio, or maybe someone you've seen is in there, or someone you know is in there, or you've seen something about someone that looks familiar and maybe inviting you to look further into the situation, or maybe just see that they're involved in the stars, or even seeing that they could have time to look at you and then wonder, should they speak to you? So someone's could be around famous people and maybe you've seen that about them, and they may want to come in and talk to you. Maybe, I don't know if this is more so to do with like flirting or showing off for some of them, or for some of you that feel like this person could be showing off because they know celebrities and you don't, so to speak. Or it could be just that they've got karma in a way that they feel like they could get people to riddle their minds a bit, ask them questions, or maybe even see that they have some type of thing going on with them about their mindset, because they may need support because of what they've seen about this person relating themselves to study stars, like looking at people that are famous, or seeing that they've got karma because they can't get help, almost like they should be jealous. And it doesn't say more than that, but only this person knows why their mind is telling them to speak, because they see you as someone that may want to talk to them, but you may not want to talk to them either. So it does say, well, I know you've seen me and I didn't know that you liked me, but I wonder, do you like me because you like me, or because I see myself liking you? And then I wonder, do I like you? And that's why you came, is what this person said, because you saw them online, maybe through a channel that could support you, maybe to date, like a dating platform. And it doesn't say anything else, but you wonder, do you have to speak to this person if they're coming in? Because they could be coming in to talk to you now and want to know what's going on with you, but you may see them as rude, disrespectful, or you feel like you can't talk to them because they're going in your mind already about the troubles that they have to see that they have good news with people. And warning, there is someone that wants to talk to you other than that, who could phone you or even call you. But it does say many people want to do this, so it's hard to see who at this time when all of them are thinking about this. So I'm hearing a few names as well, but I'm not going to bring names into it. And it does say that someone here feels like they've clarified enough time in their mind to see that bad news could come to you. So they're warning themselves, some of these people that they want to come to you with bad news should come in and speak to you. Ideally, if this woman doesn't stop picking on you and saying she wants to see bad news for you, she's going to warn herself to trouble herself with bad news of her own, as her mental health is telling her off today to blame herself for violence that's going on in her mind. Maybe even things that she's seen in her head that she wants to see happen to you. She knows she can't see it all happen to you because she can't even phone you, call you, or hear from you anytime to understand if you're going to get bad news. Almost like a comment, or like karma, negative karma this person wants to see you go through, or just wants to just wants to see you in a bad way. And it does say that she's riddled in her mind about it through a madman, or a bad man, or an evil person that asks of you regularly and doesn't know how to speak of you. And he realized he's got karma with this, because he does know he talks about you often, and he does lie about it, and he doesn't want to speak to you, but he's got karma with himself because he talks about you 24/7 sometimes. When he's realizing that he doesn't have bad news to speak about, he says, I know that I don't have bad news, so I do talk about you a lot with myself, and at times with my friends, or even sometimes with my family, but never in a bad way. And I wonder, do you hope and pray that you got good news with me? And I wonder if I've got good news with you, is what someone says. Because I wonder, is it you that's talking about me, or is it someone else? And it does say that there really is another person that's talking about you in a negative way. So watch what you're saying or how you're thinking about certain things, Scorpio, because there is someone around you that speaks about you 24/7 in negative ways. And this man doesn't know how to stop. He's bad news and his mind is telling him he has to stop. And then he realized he's got karma because drugs is also something he needs and never wants to use it or needs it because he uses spells, rituals, and so something else he says that he needs to support his mind with you being under a spell. Absolutely negative. He does know he's got karma with this ongoing, so it's going to be helpful for you to see you've got blessings and never come out of it. It says you may know that you've got good news as a Sag, female or male, but you've also got to understand that many men will use your sentimental values in spell work as you are a Sag, and do know they have to look at you as karma and study you as a karmic value system to harm other people in relation to your stars and your moon sign. So you're basically, your star sign is in relation to the work that they do. Dear Sag. Okay, anything else? Doesn't say anything about this. It says you will see that you are going down in your mind about things. You may have looked into things or smoked weed at times, or maybe even see that you have time to give yourself ideas, or maybe even things that you want to sort out. It says you may not be blocking someone, but you've blocked someone from speaking about it and may not want to speak to them either anymore. You may have to talk to someone about your problems is what someone's saying, but it doesn't say they want to talk about it any more than that. And that's where it goes wrong for anyone that's trying to pick on you right now. You may pick on them more than they pick on you, and you warn yourself, if you keep being picked on, you're going to fuck them up. And ideally, keep picking on them if they keep picking on you. Okay. Right. That's what you know. Sag. Some of you guys could be dealing with Scorpio energy, or dealing with a Scorpio, or dealing with an Aquarius, dealing with a fire sign, maybe another fire sign, a Pisces, or maybe even seeing that you've got these attributes in your chart to help you move past something. Okay, like Scorpio's energy is the one right now that's going to help you move past something in the next 2 weeks to a month, and maybe see that you have karma again with your mind, but you're not going to stay in it forever. You're going to absolutely adore them and move past the negative drama. Oh, that's amazing. So let's see what's going on. Hopefully they get some good news with your energy though, Sag, because Scorpios are going through it, so they need support as well. You can check out their reading if you want. I've posted it. So it's going to be that or nothing, and you have to have good news to support yourself with your mind about good news that you want to do anyway, so you don't have to worry about people that are picked on or picking on you, because their mindset never needed to say anything, as they know they need some time to support their mental health with problems of their own. They may not see you again in a good way, or may see you again in a good way, but they don't want to hear that you're not speaking about it. But the thing about it is you don't need to say anymore. You just leave these people to it, as they realize they've been in the wrong with you, or they're just wrong about who they are, trying to harm themselves with good news, as they could have got good news anyway. Okay. All right. They could have got good news anyway, but they try to stop that because maybe they want more than what more than what they could bargain for. I don't even think they were trying to bargain. I feel like you could have, offered to have things in a certain type of way with them, because maybe you were hiring them, maybe you was, supporting them with certain things, and in return wanting to get support. But at the same time, it's like they want to know where you are with your situation, or even if you've got karma now, because this man says he doesn't want to come to you, but he realized he doesn't speak about his mindset very often in a good way. He doesn't want to know that you have good news either. He just lied about it. But he absolutely knows the shock would harm him if he ever tried to say that out aloud, because he's also personally going to give bad news around the same industry that he's also having to help you or anyone else in. So it will be bad news for him to speak that way, because he has to realize if he has problems with you, he has to give you problems and himself problems to see that it's going to be the answer to his blessings, which is to see that you don't have good news. And then he doesn't know how to give himself that, as he thinks, because now karma's with him in his brain to think that you should not have good news, because you tried to warn him that I'm not talking to you anymore about it, because you don't have to give me good news. But I realize you're not really helping me in a good way, so I've got to move on. So he now thinks, well, he could have got good news from you, but tried to warn you that he could not give you a fair opportunity or something good to support yourself having better news. Now he knows he's in the wrong for having bad news all the time in his head, as he promised himself to have good news, but he's warned to move on past it, because his trial and error is to make sure he has good news with his mind and mental health about the situation he wants. He is absolutely going to be bothered for a next week or two, but you can move on from it while he doesn't. Okay. All right. So it does say that he's going to try and harm you, but he's not harming you if you don't speak to him again, because he doesn't want to speak to you again, and you don't want to speak to him. So just move on past the evil in his brain. Okay. Alrighty. So what else for you guys, Sag? No one's speaking about it, but you've got good news. And it doesn't say that this man's going to come to you ever again to speak about anything that's going to be worthwhile. You realize he has studied his head a bit more than he wanted to, and realize you wouldn't want to laugh at him, would you? Because he's ready to laugh at you. And he also realized he doesn't want to talk about it, but you have everything not to say you've got good news. And the way he does it is by manipulation and picking on you, and the mental health that he has to pick on you is not going to be worth it. So if you said goodbye, it doesn't really matter if you said it or not. He's ready to move past it and move on. And then he realized he's not coming back to see you, because he's got to move on and leave himself to wonder why he hasn't got good news with you, because he's not ready to have a good relationship, or even settle down, or even have good news in ways that he could have things that could solve problems. Like it could give you better news. It could make you feel like, wow, I've got a good situation that's taking on a blessing, you know, and maybe even one in disguise at the moment, but maybe after he's warned himself to have good news with you. And it doesn't say he wants to, but he says he knows he has to move on, so he's not going to try hard to pick you to be there for him, because he understands it's not easy for you to say that you like him after you've seen him, or after you've met him, or after you've even chose another person online, or maybe even seen that you've got good news now. So it's like, I know that I'm not really that bothered, because I don't really care. If you've seen me online, you've seen me online, but you haven't seen me in reality, I wouldn't really care. But I know that you've seen me in person, so I'm really bothered about the fact that you could turn around and say, well, you're not really my type. So someone's worried that you feel that, you know, they're not your type now that you've seen them in person. Now that could be some of you guys that are doing online dating, and I'm hearing some of you going on some type of speed dates. You might be trying speed dating. For some of you guys, there could be a speed dating event coming up where you might have to try it. Or some of you guys are actually in the business, you know, you're in the speed dating business, like you're trying to hook up people. So, and it doesn't say it's a bad idea. It says people right now are wondering when speed dating is going to happen. Is it going to happen for you? Because they're waiting. So there could be some people that are waiting for your event to take place as well. So that's quite interesting, you know. It does say people do not want to hear they can't come. So when you realize you've got good news, try and tell them that it's going to be on. And then they want to know, when is this going to happen? Because some of them are asking, is this event going to come around? As she told me, it's going to happen. So you have to make sure you put on this event, or else it's not going to be good for you to sit down and say you've given mind games to yourself. Make sure you do have good news with this event. Okay, so you've got some planning to do, it looks like. All right. Ooh, we got some planning to do. All right, so let's see what else is going on. Anything else? Anything else? Anything else for Sag? It says you've got time to see if anything's going to happen in the next week or two, but not right now. Okay, but you do have lots of things to do inside yourself, and work on some things you don't want to see in your troubled sun and moon signs, it says, because some of you are dealing with people that are picking on your energy, and maybe even people that are picking on your mind, or even your family. And it says it's not going to be easy, but warn yourself to have better news. Okay. Oh dear. Don't speak about problems with people that keep calling you in your head to tell you off. It says these men are going to drop down in the next week or two in their minds about bad things that are going to happen to you or not, because they realize they've got karma with you saying that you've gone through it, but they also realize they could have bad news. So it's not going to work out for you to have good news, but you will have good news if you try to warn yourself that you've got good news, because they're not troubling you. Does that make sense? So maybe they're waiting for other things to happen in your life and it's not working out in your favor, but it's cooling their energy down, because maybe they've been sitting down chanting and waiting, yeah, for some negative energy. And I did hear guru somewhere in your reading, Sag, so there could be some type of gurus or negative priests or high priestess, or some negative people, spiritual, maybe warlocks, people that like to warlock on your energy. So anyway, anything else? Now you see that blessings are coming in the warning signs of yours. You've got to have good news. So there's something coming in and it's warning you to have good news. Let's see when you're going to have good news though. I'm hearing something about letters sent, or letters have been sent. So let's see what else is going on for you, Sag. You're giving us some idea that I need to speak to you about things that you have problems with. Now, I want to know what happened to this child. And even if he doesn't speak about his problems, I need to know what happened to him. Where's he going in life? And does he need support? Okay, so someone wants to know about a child and needing support, possibly. Not really saying anything much about him. Really saying he's got problems, but you don't need to know that he's got mental health other than that. Ideally, you know that he's got problems, but he has got mental health. And even if you've got problems with him having mental health, is something that I would like to speak about, is what you will say to them, Sag. It says, you know that you want to torment my child and you want to torment me. I will not have it. But then I understand you want to pick on me and pick on me and pick on me when I'm telling you I have a child that has mental health. And I'm not going to karmically give you pleasure trying to harm me, because I understand if you want more information, just ask for it. But I'm not going to give you more information if you don't ask. Now, if you need to ask, then ask. But I'm not going to give you more information about it. Okay? And that's how you've handled the situation. It does say to take your time with something here. It doesn't say it's required for you to take your time, though, at the same time too, as someone may not want to speak about it any more than this. Either way, something is in place for you to see. You are karmically giving yourself good news. Nothing's set in stone, but people are going to pick on themselves on why they harmed you. And many thanks to you, you've got good news now. So you've got good news about something now, okay? It says it's not going to be easy, but you needed to solve your problem with something. And you may need to see that you've got good news overall. Okay? Could have solved your problem with many people or many situations. It does say someone here wants to steadily give you good news, but doesn't know if you want it. And this person says, I could try and harm you with my mind. I could harm you. I just know that I could harm you. Ugh. I don't know if you want to stay around this person that keeps saying they want to harm you. It doesn't say that they keep wanting to, but they keep bruising themselves to try hard to do so. And if they keep doing that, Sag, you need to laugh at this person and meanwhile to your mind and solve them in their minds in a way that you tell them off. Give them good news in their heads and help them see they've got bad news. Ideally, because they're hard of hearing. You like positive energy, and theirs is justified as riddles and protected with negative energy. Bloody hell, Sag. Ooh. And it doesn't say more than that. You've got to give yourself better news, so you're staying there and you're taming yourself to have good news. All right. Okay. So, anyone gives you time in your mind, it's anything but the police. It says a policeman may not want to visit you, but someone could harm you by saying, well, if you want bad news, go and get it from the doctor or a jail cell or a policeman. And it says it's not going to be worth even talking about it after you didn't ask for them things. You just know that you've asked for them to go through their problems and not you. And even when you say things to yourself, we're going to tell you to look at it in your own mind. And I know what you want to tell me is what I want to tell myself, is what I said. It is never going to be you, Sag, that says you're going to get harmed by this, because you've always said to yourself, if people want to pick on me, let them. But I'm going to make sure that they see it in their own lives. And I know you're there. So even when you want to hide and pretend it's not you and it's always going to be me, I realize you're there. And I'm not going to speak to you, but I'll let you think I'm there. And I absolutely don't want to know that you're not. So I'm going to pick on you more. And it does say they keep picking on you and pretending that they're there with you to have great news. And warning themselves to have great news is what they will do, and leave you to have the bad news. And this is not going to help the situation either, because you're going to think about picking on your own mindset sometimes when it's not really true, because you shouldn't have to pick on your mind. You don't ask to pick on your mind. You're asking to pick on the other person's mind. But it's like they're not trying to give you that. They know that they allow you to pick on your own self. And it still says you will not pick on yourself, but you will pick on the fact that something has to change. So even if it's something you've got to change inside yourself to give yourself great news, war with it. And it doesn't say anything other than this. Just try and look into your mind about it and war with it. Make sure you warn yourself to have good news by working on your mindset and playing along with the roles that you have to give yourself to make sure you've got good news. Time is of the essence to have better news, and trial and error is there for you to have even better news, but it's still going to be worth it in the end. Okay. So it doesn't say anything more than that, other than people are there right now seeing if you're proud, or even cheering yourself on, or maybe even sowing seeds for the future. Maybe having time to see if you've got caution with the wind about things you don't agree with. It says people may not want to see you as a target anymore. Ideally, I know I need to speak about this. We all agree that you will never be a target. Absolutely never be a target. You've got to have hell precedented in your head if you feel like you're going to be targeted. Now, why? Because I looked into my situation and I see it's a team of us that have got to give you bad news. And then I warn myself, I'm going to give you good news, because I can't give you bad news if you're obviously going to break me down. Now, I have to bring myself back to the bladder problems I had in the last year. It says, someone here says, I see myself with problems with my bladder. So we've come from one scenario and gone into another. There's a group of people that feel like, they have to solve a situation together to either bring you down or protect you, Scorpio. And now we've gotten into another situation with a bladder situation. So maybe some of you got bladder problems, or someone around you's got a bladder problem. It does say someone here doesn't want to try and warn you you've got bladder problems, but are you taking care of yourself as you should, and making sure that you drink plenty of juice or water, anything that's going to make you feel better. Stop playing yourself with bad news. Always give yourself good news, and see if you can have good news overall, as time is of the essence to have better news. I do feel like someone could be judging you a little bit as well, saying something rude. And if not, maybe kind of looking into a place that you a place that you've located from. Excuse me, Sagittarius. I keep having Scorps in my mind. Some of you are really closely related to Scorps. It does say that some of you guys know that it's not going to be easy to look into a situation much more than that. But this man doesn't want to say that he had good news where he was with you in the mind about things. Ideally, you was there with him, but he also recognized that you didn't have good news in your mind. Like, you could have told him off, or you was ready to really be upset about certain things in your mind and really didn't challenge him enough. But then the warning signs are there for him to see that he is targeting himself for problems, as you do not know how to solve your problems with him in a way that is bad, because you don't look at him in such a deep way, or in a karmic way, or in a problematic way. You just see him there, and then you wonder, should I even be here with you? As you don't match my vibe or my intentions, but I'm not about to harm you. I'm about to walk away. And that's how you feel about the situation with him. Whereas he now may want to challenge you a bit more and is looking deeper into it, whether he should or not, or whether he should, look into those things deeper. It does say that he's bothered more than you, but he's not going to show it, and he's going to pretend that he's your friend, but he's never going to be a good friend to you. So you've got to warn yourself from now to start looking for better friends, or even frenemies for some of you guys, because it's not easy straightening out people or trying to find better news in them to help you look forward to blessed energy moving forward. Okay. Doesn't say I want to see you again either. I like people and I want to know that people are there. That's why you said you wanted to sort out good news, Sag. It says many of you want to sort out good news and don't know if you like the person. So you've got to move on and wonder if you get good news in the next week or two other than this person, because he or she is not going to be the person that you desire to be around or even see as a partner or a lover. And you may not even want to know that they're there. And it says, caution, I may not call you now, but I may want to. And I may speak to you later on, but I know that I need to call you. So there could be someone that needs to call you, whether it's this person that's in, you know, in some type of relationship with you in regards to love and romance, or if it's just a friend, family, foe, or just someone that just needs to speak to you about something here. So someone that wants to talk to you, Sag, wants to call you up. It says it's going to be about a partner, and maybe even some of you a partner. Some of you guys are dealing with a partner. Some of you guys are dealing with an apartment, or someone wants to talk about an apartment. And some of you guys wants to speak to this person, or they want to speak to you about a partnership, some type of partner. Doesn't say it's a partnership involved in the situation of your mindset though, because this may not work out. And it does say some of you guys are dealing with someone that's going to cause you harm, and it may not work out. So you may break up with them, or you may decide to let go of the situation and move on. Okay. All right.
I see you've had to make decisions, and ideas have come about to help you take off in some type of area in your life. I see new changes coming about for some of you that are looking forward to blessed energy.
Does say this person's ready to talk a lot of trash to you. Whoever it is that keeps trying to build up strength to come forward in the background and needs to shut up, it says this person just doesn't know how to stop. They keep picking on your mindset, or making you feel like you can't have the last say, or maybe even allowing you to have the last say when they feel like it, and then wondering why they even spoke to you in the first place. Then they realize they just can't speak to you any more than this because it's not worth it. Like, it doesn't mean that you want to speak to them. So you may want to see that they're out the door, or maybe even see that they're troubling you in another way that they shouldn't, because they can't stop troubling you now that they know what they know. But they feel like they need to know more about why they need to know how to trouble you, if that makes sense, because they don't know how to stop troubling you when their mind is telling them to stop. And then they realize it's because of karma. They have trouble with people, and they don't know how to start picking on their mind to protect themselves or have better news. Now they warn themselves to build a bridge with you, or maybe even try to warn themselves to have better news. They look at you as a friend when they feel like it, and not a family member, or maybe even someone that's not close to them as a team worker. But it does say they realize they can't have karma with you because of something that you've written, or maybe even said to them, or placed on hold, or put in their minds, and maybe even dropped a note or a letter or some information to them in the mail,
helping you to gain what it is you need. I also see somebody wants to gift you something, and a lover.
Doesn't say it's going to change anything other than this is what your mindset tells you. But the warning signs are there for them to trouble themselves a little bit and find out why they shouldn't have targeted you. This is going to help so timely much. It's going to help a lot. It's going to really change the mindset about it, and really pick on themselves on why they had to harm you, because you're not a person that needs the drama. You don't need the special needs problems that they could give you, though, with the problems that they could have you in your mind about if they try to harm you with hell problems that they need to give you, ideally protect you in a way that you feel like it's not going to be easy, but this is the way that they do things to see that you have good news. At times they know they've got things that are there for them to give you and say, well, I can't help you in that way, but I've got to help you in this way because your problems are there, and they could solve a problem in that way. However, it does say that you've got good news in your mind, so you will have great news, building respect, and maybe even having respect and giving yourself time to love yourself more, as time will give you time to understand that your respect is needed. You need respect, and that's absolutely justified in this situation now, because I've called myself in my mind and said, well, is it that I don't respect her? So someone feels like they don't respect you, and is it that I don't respect him? And it does say this man says, I don't feel like I'm going to respect you, but I will solve my problem with certainly a female or a male that will respect you and give you good news. However, this man says he knows that she's not going to get good news. And this man says he understands why, because his building is not going to be the wonderful building that he wanted to give you in return for a good idea that you had. He didn't want to give you a building for a good idea that he had. Okay. So what does that mean for you guys? Because we're coming to an end now. It doesn't say much other than this, but he will want to give you a proper building one day, or maybe even change the building. So we'll see what happens in the next week or two. So I'm going to leave it there, my lovely Sag, as we are coming to an end, and I will speak to you guys in the next reading. So look out for that information. Ciao for now. Bye.